Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian. I'm streaming to you from beautiful Budapest live here in Central Europe. I hope everybody has had a great week and is looking forward to a fantastic weekend. Everyone in this class, we are focusing on a speaking part 2 cue card. This is the long response, and we're going to discuss on what you need to do to give a Band 9 answer. Now, this class is for members chat only. Everybody is welcome to watch. I definitely recommend watching, as we'll have a class tomorrow, speaking part 3, which will be related to this class. Hi, Abhishek. Hi, Sammy. If you'd like to become a member of our channel, simply click the join button next to the subscribe button. If you do not see the join button on the channel, send me an email to adrian@aehelp.com and I can send you some more instructions. This lesson and materials are presented by aehelp.com for academic IELTS success. Please check us out there. For the general IELTS, visit us at gieltshelp.com. On both of our channel or both our websites, we have lots and lots of materials to help you. You can use the code R4TYJ to get a 20% discount. I offer this discount in live classes, so if you catch it, make sure to use it. Hi, Carolina. Hi, Pipi. Hi, Rashika. Hi, honey. Hi, Janil. Nice to see many of our members joining in. Just a quick glimpse at our websites. This one here with the blue background, aehelp.com. Click that big red button to join us. We have full staff chat support. If you have some questions, click on the bottom there. We have the same on our general IELTS. If you have questions, just click the chat. You can join the general IELTS by clicking the big red button. We're an official British Council IELTS registration center for Saudi Arabia, and we have certified British Council agents working with us. So for sure, if you have questions, we can help you out. Just let us know. We have apps. Of course, our apps will link to the websites, Academic IELTS Help app to aehelp.com, General IELTS Help to gieltshelp.com. We're constantly developing our materials, adding exams and videos, so well worth spending a bit of time on these resources and assets. All right, everyone, so right now speaking part 2, and then after this class, we'll have listening part 3 and 4, because we did listening parts 1 and 2 yesterday. Members, just really importantly, tomorrow, question and answer session. So think about your questions that you've been accumulating over the past few weeks or even months of studies, and make sure to have them ready for tomorrow. Members, did you catch that? I know these preambles can get a little bit redundant for you at times, but that's an important note for you. So yeah, everybody got that? Q&A session for members tomorrow. So if you have questions, then tomorrow is your chance to ask, and we can get into some details. Ois says, got it. Carolina's like, okay, cool. All right. Thank you for reflecting on my instructions. That's great. That helps. Okay, let's get into our speaking part 2 cue card. Okay, Sammy says, got it. All right, fantastic. Honey, good. So I'm looking forward to lots of questions tomorrow, okay? All right, so this is a speaking class, so make sure to speak and repeat, okay? So when you hear me use some new words and give phrases and sentences, repeat what I say, my intonation, my pronunciation. All right, so you're in your IELTS speaking exam. You're confident, you're fluent, you're focused, okay? You know what you need to do. You're going step by step. You are the turtle that's going to win the race, right? And your part 1 speaking ends, and the examiner says, okay, that's the end of part 1. Now we will continue with part 2. For part 2, I will ask you some questions, or I will give you a card with some questions. You will have 1 minute to look at the questions on the card, think about your answers. You can take notes in the 1 minute if you wish. There's some note paper and pencil in front of you. And you will have 2 minutes to speak. I will tell you when to start, when to stop. Okay, your 1 minute preparation time begins. Now turn over the card and begin. And then you turn over the card, and this 1 minute preparation time, it's less than 10% of your speaking interview, but it influences a big part of your mark. So you really have to use it wisely. Okay, I've said this many times, and I know the members who are in these classes regularly are very familiar with this now, but just one more time, okay? The 1 minute preparation time in part 2 has a major impact on your overall band score, especially for band scores 7 and more. Okay, so really, really important to have a good, calm, focused strategy for that 1 minute preparation. All right. Okay, so here we go. Part 2, you turn it over. Here's your cue card. First step, what do you do? Members, what is your first step? What do you do? What's step number 1? As soon as you flip over that card, and again, you do have to think about this part 2 cue card like a mechanical task. It's like pole vault, okay? Pole vaulting is when people have that long pole, and then they have to stick it in the ground and jump over a very high bar. That's called pole vaulting, okay? And you have some very set kind of steps that you have to do to make sure that you don't mess up and hurt yourself, and that you successfully jump over that very high bar with your pole vault, okay? So part 2 is just like that. It's very technical. It's very technical. You have to be very technical. It's like a driver's test. You have to make sure that your e-brake is on, that you've got your brakes depressed, that you've checked your mirrors. So you have to really be technical in part 2. Okay, it's very important. Okay, so Abhishek says, read the question twice. Carolina says, read the question carefully. Yeah, so to be really clear on this, read the topic sentence twice and read the question carefully. Yeah. So step 1, read the topic statement question twice and the questions carefully. Okay, so obviously I'm capitalizing all the words that are emphasized here. So basically what I do is I turn over the card and then I go, okay, talk about a person you were nervous to meet. Okay, talk about a person you were nervous to meet. Okay, so it's me, I met this person, I was nervous to meet them. Not they were nervous to meet me, not somebody else, not in the future, but in the past. Clear. Okay, so I read it twice. It's crystal clear. Okay, then I read the question carefully. You should say, who is this person, when you met this person, where you met him or her. Why did you meet with the person and what made you worried? Okay, you will have 1 to 2 minutes to talk about this topic. All right. Okay, so we read the question carefully. We read the topic twice, right? Okay, what's my next step? So step 2, what do I do? Again, it's very mechanical, okay? So again, it's like a driver's test for part 2 of speaking. You have to know, okay, now that I checked my mirrors, now I can release my emergency brake. Of course, I made sure I have my seatbelt on, right? And then I can put the car into reverse. I can apply some pressure to the gas, release the brake, and start moving backwards. So it's very technical, just like that, okay? So Abhishek says, identify the category and the tenses. Yeah. Okay, so here, obviously we're talking about a person, and we are using the past past perfect, progressive or past progressive, I should say. Okay, and maybe some present perfect as well. So these are going to be my tenses of focus, and we are focusing on a person here, the person who we are nervous to meet. That's true. Now, there's maybe a little bit more in here than a person. You have to be really careful. You have to really think critically. So we're talking about a person, and maybe we're also talking about another category a little bit here. What other category? So I'm sure that all of you right away would think, okay, person, but what other category are we talking about here a little bit in combination with the person? Yeah, very good, Nikhil. Nice, Carolina. Good job. Yeah, it's an event. Okay, so here we're talking about a person and an event because it's the person and the event together. Very good, students. Nicely done. I'm happy you got that so quickly. Yeah, so we're talking about the person and an event, right? Because it's maybe not just the person, but the circumstance that's making you nervous, right? Circumstance. Circumstance meaning situation. Very good. Okay. All right. So when we talk about a person, what do we need to include? Okay, nice and fast. This should be automatic now for our regular students. So when you talk about a person for part 2, what should you include in your response? Yeah, a little bit about appearance. So we definitely want to put a picture to the person, so what they kind of look like. Okay. So yeah, appearance. Abhishek says action. So personality and actions. Yeah, very good, Carolina. So personality with actions. Yeah, so personality backed up with actions. Yeah, okay, very good. All right, and when we're talking about an event, so right away here, if we're talking about an event, what should we include when we discuss an event? Okay. So, event. Okay. So, time, location, attendees, very good, Jainil. Yep. Okay. Activities in your experience. Carolina, very nice. I can tell, Carolina, that you've been really practicing. Yeah, for experience, I've just kind of used the word opinion. And very good, Jainil. You're absolutely right. Time and location. So time, location, attendees, who's there, the activities, and the opinion. So as long as you keep these in mind and you come up with a couple of good choices, you're going to do really well in this part 2, okay? Very nice. Good job, students. Good job. Okay. All right. So what's my next step? Step 3. Moving along beautifully. See, when you know what you're doing, you can really just kind of go step by step. So step 1, we looked at the question, we interpreted, understood the question. Step 2, we identified the category, we identified the tense, and now we think of 2-3 choices that are easy to talk about and unique. So 2 to 3 possible choices. So don't pick the first idea that comes to mind. Okay, so 2 to 3 possible choices that are easy and original. Okay, I don't want to say unique, Carolina. I know I've said that before, but it doesn't have to be like something really strange. It can be common, just original. So not something that everybody's going to choose, something that's original to you, right? So 2 to 3 ideas. 2 of the biggest mistakes that students make in part 2, so this is just kind of a, we're going to digress here. So the 2 biggest mistakes that intermediate to advanced IELTS candidates make on part 2 is not answering the questions on the card accurately, or all of them. That's number one. And choosing a difficult or common topic that they have problems with. Okay. All right. So keep that in mind. All right. Is that clear, everybody? Members, get some thumbs up on that one. That has to really sink in because it is the most. So of the hundreds of students that I've tested and that I've listened to for speaking part 2, this is by far the two most common mistakes for part 2 is students don't pay attention to the card and miss a question or actually go off topic and talk about a close topic but not the right topic. So they'll talk about a person who makes everybody nervous, like a politician who is a leader in their country and makes the people nervous because the political leader has some radical views on what to do and how to do it, and people are really worried about the economy, and it makes everybody really nervous. And then they start talking about the politician who makes everybody nervous. It's not the question. The question is who makes you nervous or who made you nervous in the past, right? So it's one of the most common mistakes. And then the other one is people talking about some very, very common type of topic, right? The IELTS examiner makes me nervous. That would be a little bit weird to talk about in this case, okay? All right. Keep those in mind. Okay, so let's come up with those 2 to 3 original ideas here. So give me some ideas, members. Okay, and I can see Honey said, can you repeat that? Yeah, so Honey, the 2 most common mistakes in part 2 that intermediate to advanced candidates make is that they don't answer the questions on the card accurately, or they don't answer all of them, they miss some of them, or that they think of just one idea, start talking about it, and then they realize after 30 seconds that they can't really talk about that idea. They don't have enough information or the vocabulary, or they run out of ideas, or it's not original. Okay. All right. Sammy says, proposing to girlfriend. Okay, so yeah. So asking for girlfriend's hand in marriage. Yeah, that could be one. All right, give me some other ones. Okay, Abhishek says, meeting Mr. Johnson for an interview. Okay, so for a final interview for principal consultant at IBM. I like it. Okay, very specific, unique. It's good, Abhishek. I like it. I like how you're thinking. Give me some more, students. So what would be another one? So Owa says a driving examiner. Okay, so driving examiner to get my driver's license. Okay, that's possible for sure. Okay. All right, Abhishek says, principal of my high school. Okay. So yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, how about that one? Meeting my high school principal after getting into a fight. I bet a lot of us had that kind of an experience or something similar. Okay, yeah, being late for many classes or skipping a class. Okay, all right. Yeah, okay, so Carolina says, how about a consulate officer for visa application? Okay, so Okay. All right. Sure. Let me throw one up there. How about that one? To meet the dentist, to have my first cavity fixed. Okay. So there's one that comes to mind. Just think about your own life, right? Okay. Okay. Good. So we have lots here, everyone. So let's pick one. Now I'm gonna leave proposing to girlfriend out because we want to be gender neutral. So something that both um, uh, women and men can kind of relate to equally. Okay, so we'll go with meeting Mr. Johnson, the CEO, for final interview as number one. Principal consultant at IBM. Driving examiner we'll leave out because we did something similar a few weeks ago or a few months ago, and I think some students maybe still remember that. We'll do meeting my high school principal after getting into a fight. Number two, consulate officer for a visa application. Number three, and dentist to get my first cavity filled or fixed. Number four. Okay, so those are your four choices. Let me know which one you would like to work on today for today's response. And then the one that gets the popular vote, we'll do that one together. Okay, and we'll get into step number four, which is, of course, jotting down some useful notes. Step four, jotting down useful notes. All right. Okay, so let's see what we have. We've got quite a few different votes going up. So we've got, let's see, oh, definitely looks like number four is the most popular. Don't choose because I said it, but I'm guessing you're probably keeping this as easy and something that you can talk about, right, in mind. And that's what I'm thinking about when I'm coming up with this. So it looks like number four is what most of you chose, which was, I kind of moved around here, which was the dentist. Okay, sure, all right. Make sure you can talk about it, right? Whenever you talk about dentists or doctors, there could be some unique vocabulary, although you could be in that situation for visa applications as well. Okay, so number two is not actually that bad, and I see there's a strong second vote for that. So, but let's go with dentist, okay? I want to maybe teach you some new vocabulary as we're discussing this. And I'm guessing some of you might be thinking as well, hey, if we talk about the dentist office, maybe you'll pick up some new vocabulary also. Okay, so let's do it. So dentist office, all right. So first of all, let's take down some useful notes. So first think about the person, okay? And then the event. All right. So remember, don't forget the cards. Who is this person? When you met this person, where you met this him or her, okay? So let's get into some useful notes, not ideas that you already know or that you would automatically know, but points that will help you when you actually look at your notes, okay? This is another really important point. Okay, Paula, I think you weren't here earlier, but we said examiner of the IELTS exam is not a good choice, especially since you're talking to them. That would be pretty awkward, okay? All right, so Janelle says Dr. Pedersen, sure. Okay, so what does Dr. Pedersen look like? Yeah, so Sammy, instead of appearance name, just give it to me. Give me the specifics. Abhishek says Dr. Little, sure, that could be it. All right, we'll just pick a name, Dr. Pedersen. And Dr. Pedersen is, let's say, 6 feet. Curly hair, okay. And charismatic. Okay, good. Okay, we don't need to get into too many details, just some quick points on his appearance, just so we can visualize the person, okay? Deep voice, sure, okay. Maybe we'll add that. Okay, all right, let's move past the appearance. So personality, what is Dr. Pedersen like? Give me some personality and immediately back it with actions. As soon as you think about personality, please don't just write the personality, but immediately write an action for that personality. Okay? Nancy, welcome to our group of members. Make sure to send me an email so that I can hook you up with those exclusive videos. And please join in on this class and on the chat. Okay, my email is adrian@aehelp.com. Welcome aboard, Nancy. All right, so personality backed by action. Okay, so he's happy. He's always smiling. Okay. Okay, and tells jokes. So, Sammy, always think about personality backed by action. Okay. Nick Hill says, kind, helps many people with free checkups. Okay, Nick Hill, that's not bad, but when you think about the personality, think about your situation. Okay, so don't go off topic. It's not about helping poor people. So the situation is about when you were nervous. So think about personality backed up with action, but think about it in the context of the cue card. Okay, so okay. Yeah, so a little bit long on the notes here. I'm just giving you some extra information. So he's intelligent, up to date with the latest information on teeth and dental hygiene. Okay, dental hygiene is what we call the way that you take care of your teeth, like flossing, brushing, rinsing your mouth, and so on. Okay, all right. So good. Okay, I want to see more of this personality backed by action. Honey says he's an amicable person, calms me down when I'm nervous. Okay, good, honey, very good. Okay, so here I don't need to write when I was feeling nervous because that's part of the card. So amicable, calms me with conversation. Very good, asks me about what I did that morning or asked me about what I did that morning. So again, when you think about all of these, okay, this is just a point here for your studies, all right? So as you think, as you come up with ideas, keep the context of the cue card question in mind. Okay? All right, very good. All right. So good. Now let's jump to the event. Okay? So we have a little bit of information about the person. That's great. Give me a little bit about the event, and then we'll make the connection between the two during our speech, okay? So go for the event. I see that there's some other points that you've included. You can suggest those while we develop part 2, okay? So what's the event? Obviously, this is a time when you were nervous. First of all, time and location. Okay, so time and location. Keep thinking about the components of these categories, right? So time and location. That's what we're going for next here. Okay, last year, mid-July. Sure. Okay, 3 months ago. Okay, so Otis, it's not take off my tooth, but it's pull out a tooth. Okay, so, but let's not say pull out a tooth. Let's say fill a cavity. Okay. All right. Honey, very specific. I like it. I'm sure a lot of people do remember the exact time that they experienced their first serious dental visit, especially if they were adults. So you said last month, Friday 22nd, 4 p.m. in his clinic. Yeah, so 4 p.m. in his downtown clinic. Yeah, it's also called a dental office or dental clinic. All right, good. Nice. Give me some more. Yeah, roughly 10 minutes drive from my place. Sure, details are good. Absolutely. Okay. Nice. Well done. Okay. All right. So what happened? He had to fill a cavity. Can you give me more information about the action? So give me a little bit more. Let's see how much you can use your vocabulary here at the dentist office. So if you've taken some lessons in English on how to have a discussion with your dentist, now is your chance to shine. So what kind of information can you tell me about the actions or the activity that happened in this situation to make you so nervous? Okay. All right, and if any of you, I'm sure many of you have had, yeah, so anesthesia, Abhishek, let's call it a local anesthesia. Yeah, I've had that. Has anybody had that needle, the local anesthetic needle to kind of numb your gums? Okay. Now, obviously, I'm giving you some extra notes here. Okay. Honey says his sharp tooth picking machine. Yeah, it's called a dental drill or a dentist drill. Okay. Sure. Yeah. So remember that dentist drill? The sound, the smell. Ooh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, very good, Abhishek. So tooth decay. And here, if you're writing your notes, you probably want to put it up here. So yeah, tooth decay, that's what happens when the tooth starts to break down from usually streptococcal bacteria. Okay. All right, Ferdov says cannot eat and drink. Now, remember here, students, that as you're thinking about your notes, don't forget the card, right? So who is this person, when you met this person, where you met him or her, why did you meet with the person, and what made you worried? So here, what made you worried? Okay. Hi, is that another Carolina joining us, or is it the same Carolina? No, because Carolina Asano. So we have another Carolina. Welcome, Carolina. Happy to have two Carolinas in here now. That's fantastic. Okay, so what made you worried? Okay, don't forget that because you have to talk about that. Again, this is what I said. Don't miss any questions. Okay. Sammy says, I heard some loud screaming. Okay. Yeah, Carolina, I thought it was maybe you rejoining, but then I realized that that's a different little icon after. So, okay. So, heard sounds and screaming from the dentist chair. Yeah, okay. Sure. Okay, so what else made you feel worried or nervous? Right? Okay, yeah, always. So thinking about the drill and the needle. And keep it simple. Okay. So no experience, Abhishek. Absolutely. First time. Yeah, this is what I mean. Keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate. What are people really worried about? I mean, somebody's got their hands in your mouth. Obviously, that's very worrisome. But what else are you worried about? I would say painful. Make a mistake, right? Many people are afraid that, the doctor's going to make a mistake and suddenly you lose a very healthy tooth. Okay. Yeah, Sammy, exactly. So will go well or not? Yeah, very good, Carolina. Painful. Exactly. Good. So we're all on the same page here. We're in the same thought train. Okay, very good. Nice. So now I want to get my first sentence ready. And you want to look at the topic statement when you get your first sentence ready. So talk about a person, not the situation, right? So you have to focus on the person, on the individual. So talk about a person you were nervous to meet. Okay, yeah. Also, was afterwards some bleeding, some difficulty chewing. Yeah, absolutely, always. Good thinking. So talk about a person you were nervous to meet. Always reread. So reread that topic statement before you come up with your first sentence. And then you can come up with a really good one. Okay, let's see if you come up with the same or similar sentence that I will come up with. The doctor's name is Dr. Pedersen. Or Pedersen, I think, would be a more common name, maybe. Pedersen, or Peterson. Pedersen, like that. Let's do that. Okay. Okay, so here's my first sentence. Let's see what you've come up with. Meanwhile, those of you watching, just repeat after me. So, I was extremely nervous to meet with my dentist, Dr. Pedersen, last year, mid-July, to get one of my teeth fixed. Very good. Ferdov says, a person who made me freak out 10 years ago was my dentist, Dr. Pedersen, who worked in the clinic near my home. Okay, Ferdov, you're a little bit ways back, but sure. Okay. Sammy says, an unforgettable person and situation was meeting Dr. Pedersen at Smile Big Clinic 2K from my office. Sammy, that works. Okay. There's a couple corrections I made there, but good, Sammy. Good for Dobbs. Carolina says, I was really nervous to meet my dentist, Dr. Pedersen, for the first time when I had to get my teeth fixed. Yeah, it'd probably be the second time, Carolina, because you'd probably do like a control or a checkup before getting your teeth fixed, but you're on the right track. Okay. Nick Hill says, last year, mid-July, I was nervous to meet my dentist, Dr. Pedersen, who has an office, a dental clinic about 3 to 5 miles from my home. 3 to 5 miles, you don't need to say that, Nick Hill. Just say 3 miles from my home. Who has a clinic 3 miles from my home? Jai Neal says, last month when I went to meet my family dentist, Dr. Pedersen, to get my teeth fixed, I was really worried. Okay, Jai Neal, good. I made a couple of grammatical corrections there. Okay, good. So next sentence. Give me your next sentence. I'm going to write mine, then we'll compare. Okay? All right. So let's see what you come up with. All right. All right. Janelle says, last month when I went to meet my family dentist, Dr. Pedersen, to get my teeth fixed, I was really worried. I think I've read that, Janelle. That's good. Just make sure you put Dr. Pedersen. And when I went to get my teeth fixed, I was really worried. Okay. Oh, it says, the person who made me nervous to meet was my dentist, Dr. Pedersen, when I visited him last July. Abhishek says, I vividly remember last year, mid-July, I met my family dentist, Dr. Pedersen, to fix my tooth, right? Because met my family dentist to fix my tooth. He made me really nervous. Students, be really careful about your verb tenses when you're using the past or when you're talking about the past, okay? Rashika says, the person I was nervous to meet was my dentist, Dr. Pedersen, 3 months ago when filling my cavity, okay? You don't need to say teeth cavity, just my cavity, okay? Sammy says, as soon as I reached the clinic, I heard loud screaming and I was more nervous than ever. It was doubling my pain or my mental anguish. Okay, your mental pain is what you feel first. After that, the nurse called me inside and into the doctor's room and gave me anesthesia. Okay, so you're very quick into that, Sammy. Kashyap, Modha, welcome aboard. Join the chat and make sure to send me an email later on so I can hook you up with those exclusive videos, okay? My email again for our new members, because there's a few of them, Kaishap, Carolina, and we had one more. Send it to adrian@aehelp.com, okay? All right. So let's keep going. Okay, this is what I wrote so far. So again, just repeat after me. Although he is a very charismatic man, about 6 feet tall and usually wearing a big smile, I was freaking out because I've never had to get a cavity filled, and I've heard all kinds of horror stories from my family and friends. Okay? Nancy says, I felt nervous when I reached the dental clinic, which is about 3 kilometers from my home. Okay, and then okay. All right. So good. I kind of combined what a couple of you said there, which is very good writing and thinking. Just repeat after me. So I was shaking in my boots by the time I had reached his dental clinic, the Perfect Smile, which is roughly 3 kilometers from my home. As soon as I had walked through the front door, I heard some screaming from his dentist office. Okay. Oh, it says, I visited his dental friends center in our city where I met him the first time last July. And in a first glance, he is a massive man, about 6 feet tall with curly hair. And his voice was rough when he said, sit in the chair. Okay, Ois, I like it. I like where you're going with that. All right, Abhishek says he has a sharp personality, about a height of 6 feet and 80 kilograms with a strong muscular body and a big smile. He helped me feel a bit more at ease with some dental jokes. Okay, so fortunately, All right. So let's see what you have, and then we'll go over what I have here as well. Keep going. Okay. So Nick Hill says, although I was extremely nervous about the pain, he calmed me. So not made me calm, he calmed me by telling me some jokes. So to calm someone is actually a verb as well, Nick Hill. So you can calm someone, calm them down. Ferdov says, when I was waiting for my turn, I'd read from some ads that he finished his doctoral dissertation 2 months ago, and he was equipped with the latest skills. Okay, that would actually kind of scare me. Ferdov's very fresh dentist is, it's a bit of a a brave step. Okay, Sammy says, by seeing his smiley face, I felt a little bit relaxed. I felt a bit at ease. Try this one, Sammy. I felt a bit more at ease. Okay, I felt a bit more at ease. And he just spoke to me casually and tried to make me feel calm. Not cool. Cool is a little bit different, Sammy. Okay. All right. So I'm checking my notes and questions at this time. All right. Let's see what I still need. So I got a lot of this information in here. Local anesthesia, drill, first time, painful, making mistakes. Okay, let's see what the card is asking. So I want to make sure I'm covering all of these. When I met this person, who is this person? I've got those. Where I've met them, I got that. Why did you meet the person? I've got that. What made you worried? I've got most of these. So it looks like I'm doing good so far. Now I noticed that I still missed a couple points on my card, which was the outcome and the pain. So, of course, I was really nervous that the procedure would be very painful. And I also worried about complications, like having difficulty chewing or sleeping afterwards. Fortunately, Dr. Patterson is very professional, and he did a fantastic job. So I suffered as little as possible, considering it was my first time to get my tooth fixed. Even though I'm sure I would be nervous if I had to see him again. Okay, so here we go, everyone. My full response. Let's go over this together. And then, again, think about all of these steps. So part 2, very mechanical. You go step by step. And yes, it seems like it's a lot to do in the 3 minutes, the 1 minute preparation time and the 2 minute response time. But as long as you practice these skills, you can definitely do well, okay? So repeat after me. Here we go for the full response, okay? So I was extremely nervous to meet with my dentist, Dr. Pedersen, last year in mid-July to get one of my teeth fixed. Although he is a very charismatic man, about 6 feet tall and usually wearing a big smile, I was freaking out because I've never had to get a cavity filled, and I've heard all kinds of horror stories from my family and friends. I was shaking in my boots by the time I had reached his dental clinic, The Perfect Smile, which is roughly 3 kilometers from my home. As soon as I had walked through the front door, I heard some screaming from his dentist office. Fortunately, when it was my turn to sit in his dentist chair, he made me feel a bit more at ease by walking me through the process in detail and telling me a couple of funny jokes. He is a clever and empathetic man, and he distracted me from my fears by asking me about my week. Nevertheless, I was terrified when he gave me a local anesthetic needle and when he turned on his dentist drill. Of course, I was really nervous that the procedure would be very painful, and I also worried about complication like having difficulty chewing or sleeping afterwards. Fortunately, Dr. Pedersen is very professional and he did a fantastic job, so I suffered as little as possible considering it was my first time to get my tooth fixed, even though I'm sure I would be nervous if I had to see him again. Since then, I've been brushing my teeth more regularly, and I've also started flossing not only in the morning but also in the evening. And I'm probably not the only person that's scared of the dentist. I know that it's common in society. Okay, so I've answered all the questions. If I have a little bit more time, I can stretch it now. But definitely at this point, the examiner's going, all right, all the questions are answered. Good job. Okay. All right, everyone. So I can see Abhishek, Sami, Ferdavs, Rashika. You've written some nice sentences after. I've skimmed over them. Okay. You're in the right direction. That's what you need to do for part 2. So that's our visit at the dentist office. Definitely write down new vocabulary and expressions from this class. These are some very common expressions in these kinds of situations, so make sure to use them. To learn lots more and for lots more videos to all of our viewers and our new members, be sure to also check us out on our website at aehelp.com for academic IELTS, glshelp.com for general IELTS. You can use this code to get a 20% discount on our premium package, get our apps. And coming up in about 30 minutes, I will host one more class, which will be listening part 3 and listening part 4. Everybody will be able to join the chat, give their answers, interact with me. So hopefully I will see you then. You're very welcome, Abhishek, Nikhil, Carolina. You're absolutely welcome. Good participation. I'm Adrian, and I'm signing out from Budapest for now. Hopefully, I'll see you all shortly. Bye.